A husband and wife had been dealing with some rough paranormal activity, and it had gotten to the point that they had to leave their house for a few days. As they were leaping though, the husband turned around and caught a snapshot of a face in the window before it quickly vanished. They went back inside the house to record and see if anything was actually inside of it, or whether it was a concerning shadow, and this is what happened in the home. They heard noises in the room whilst their dog was barking, and this was too coincidental to not have been a paranormal presence. The husband tested his luck and logged onto the camera app to see if he could witness anything else, and the figure of a ghostly woman could be seen looming in the corner. They quickly took their children out of the house and left it for a weekend. We can only hope that the spirit is gone once they arrive back. Every Sunday without fail, Thomas, a man who despised his job, made the absolute most of his day off by tapping into his inner alcoholic. Him and some friends would always join a call on their devices and play all sorts of games together, such as Call of Duty and Fortnite, but whenever they got a kill, they had to have some alcohol. This gave Thomas a reasonable excuse as to why he saw something that he assumed to be paranormal, and he blamed it on the drunkenness. But due to capturing it on camera, we know that this was not the case.
It's a fucking Sunday, dude. Do it again, bitch. My God! Oh my God. Okay, that was... I mean, it's not worth the fact that you broke my glass, dude. That was like 1,500 points a Dave & Buster's. That's a feat. Dude, you have to do some extra shit. Let's do some examinations, bro. I'm tripping out actually pretty hard. I just kind of want to get up.
The poltergeist threw 2 glasses alongside a valuable item on the floor, and it is safe to say that Thomas was pretty annoyed by this sudden outburst. He came to the conclusion that the beer had led him to seeing this, but once he rewatched the footage a day later, he was truly spooked and uploaded it to YouTube. In the following video, a young boy called Ricky was doing some homework at his work desk when the most unexpected thing possible happened. He claimed that the cup besides his computer had moved on its own accord, and this is what beckoned him to start recording. If he hadn't captured this on film, then nobody would have believed him, but fortunately, he did, and we are lucky enough to be able to watch it. Before I show you the video though, if you have any paranormal clips and would like me to break them down in a future video for you, then send the footage to hauntedforofficial@gmail.com and give me the story of what happened. Have a look.
Right now I saw this cup just move and I got scared, man. I was seeing strange things going on in my house, so maybe, I don't know what could happen, but... Whoa! Whoa! What's that? What was that? Oh, it's moving. Whoa. What's that, man? Oh, snap!
Strangely, the cup fell to the ground not once but twice, but many people have tried to debunk this event. Heaps of people claim that the cup could have easily had an attached string because the camera quality was so low, but no matter how far you zoom into it, this is not the case. It was pretty evident that no visible force acted upon Ricky's cup, meaning he must have encountered a ghost. Ricky has not suffered from anything similar since. Donna Ayers has been on the paranormal radar for quite some time now, and has made appearances on some of the oldest videos on my channel. This is because her house is haunted, and whilst she is pretty certain that the culprit of all the hauntings is her passed-away husband, the events still instill fear into her nonetheless. The video that you are about to see took place in a planned attempt to capture the ghost in action, and it went pretty well for Donna.
Just doing a bit of the Ouija board and my key started moving, so I thought I'd just record it. It was just strange. I've had this before with the keys though, nothing new really. They moved just as I was putting the Ouija board on the table. There you go. Told you. And I don't really give a shit what you people think neither, because it's happening. Hello? Knock the keys off.
She wanted the spirit to move the keys after incentivizing it through the use of a Ouija board, and it listened. A spirit that listens to its victims is quite a rare occurrence, hence why Donna believed it came from her husband, followed by the fact the hauntings started shortly after he left the world. This is the only reason that Donna has not decided to banish the spirit, but it is seriously getting her close to considering it. Being a fireman is one of the most respected jobs in society, and this is because you are going out of your way to save people's lives. Day by day, these people are put into life-threatening situations to save others and do not get paid the amount that they should, considering they could die on the job, but they continue their good deeds nonetheless. The piece of footage that I am going to expose you to took place in the midst of a fire and was recorded by somebody who worked within the fire service. It is important to note that they were 100% certain that there was nobody in the building at the time, and there are no logical explanations for what happened.
Okay. I'm gonna try and walk in and see what it's like. It's pretty cool.
Oh, it's been down low.
You should see it right now. It's amazing. Look through the window. It's like exploding. Hold your breath and go look. Just make sure you can get out because it's pretty cute. It's pretty amazing inside there. Did you look in the doorway?
Yeah, flames are coming out.
No, better not be.
Grand Loan better be out there. We're out. Oh, I'm in. Oh, I'm in. Oh, I'm in. Yeah, hey, Grand Loan, go get out.
Woo! It's getting out of hand right now. Hey, the water's dripping off the house is hot. Whoa. Whoa, you hear that? Gee whiz. It's like busting the glass out. Look at that. Gee, you hear it?
The fireman decided that he was going to investigate the building as his unit had only just arrived on scene and the fire was pretty strong. Little did he know that as he entered the building, some sort of shadow figure would peek out from behind the doorway before taking cover again. The worker told all of his colleagues about what he saw and even showcased the footage to them, which incentivized them to search the building a second time for any people. But again, nobody was found. This must have been a ghost. It was the day before Halloween, and two hikers set out on a long trip to a rural area in Scotland. That evening there was a storm due, but they had the gear that they needed, so were able to push on and not give up on their adventure. Eventually, they came across an old house that had been around since the 1800s. Due to the torrential conditions, they decided to enter this place to take cover from the oncoming storm, but little did they know the weather would be so bad that they would not be able to leave. Furthermore, they had no idea that there was a spirit present.
Found the bothy book. You put my glasses on now to find us a bat. So this is popular, quite popular bothy by the looks of it. Someone actually stayed last night. It was nice and tidy when we came in. So plaudits to whoever stayed here last night. Well done. Absolutely spotless. Whoa. Hold on a minute. Whoa. Whoa. I'm out. I'm out of here. No. No.
Right, you can't see us here, but we just ran out of this room there. That was totally weird. The door just started to move on its own, and then it just pretty much slammed shut. I mean, Marty's out there,
It moved something in the room which put both of them on high alert, but the least they expected was for the door to move on its own accord. They tried to escape the facility, but to their disappointment, the wind was pushing against the door, which meant they could not close it. This was not a good situation.
I mean, I don't particularly believe in ghosts, and neither does Manor. No. So we're kind of thinking that it might have been just like the backdraft of the wind. I mean, there's a storm going on outside, so
yeah. But I still don't believe it was the wind, but it's the only when the wind's blowing that strong outside, and there's no, it's the only rational explanation, even though I'm not even looking at that. No, I'm not looking at it. It's moving, right? I'm honest, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go.
This can't be right. I'm not.
It's black in here as well, I can't see a thing.
So there's a chair over there, and it just started to move, which is...
No way, I'm not even, no.
This is bonkers.
I'm not having any part of this.
That is moving. It is moving, that chair is moving.
Just leave it. Come out there.
Oh, Christ.
After this incident, the location had a blackout and all electricity stopped working, including the cameras. They both went to bed in nothing but fear that night and left first thing in the morning for obvious reasons. The following clips took place in an abandoned Japanese hotel that has had many reports regarding hauntings in the past. The hotel has become so famously known for its evil and disturbing nature that the owners needed a plan to keep getting customers, and so they turned its whole selling point into the fact it was haunted and raised the prices. This duo decided to visit the hotel for a YouTube video, and what they caught was expected, considering the environment, but still spooky nonetheless. Take a look.
と待って。ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って。え、なんだ。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って。何？え？音が。ちょっと。うわ。マジさっきの音ね。ここも物が残ってる感じかな。あ、上が。
The woman was locked in a room by Herschel for experimental purposes, and she heard a bang that happened for unknown causes. It switched to the man's POV, which confirmed nothing around could have made this sound happen, but that was not all.
で、その返答が返ってちょっと待って。どうした？どういうこと？ちょっと待ってね。開いたし、は？
鍵が
震えようや。ちょっと、俺もは？どういうこと？
わからん。どういうこ
震えようし。マジか。
SP をつけたまま。いや、なんかね。ちょっと怖い。
なんでどういうこと？状況説明して。
ちょっと怖い。ちょっと待って。
いやいや、落ち着いてからでいい。
こんばんは。今こちらの部屋に誰かいますか？なんかね、音がするの。誰かいたら反応をお願いします。なんでこれ？ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って ちょっとやばい。何？ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。ちょっと無理。あ、スピードが。ちょっと待って。なんで？鍵が開かない。どういうこと？マロやばい。来て。ちょっと待って。なんで？ 開かない。鍵があかん。どういうこと？マジでガチでやばい。どうしよう、スピードもつけたまんま。ちょっと待って。おかしいよね、なんで？どういうこと？やばいやばい、マジで早く来て。なんで開いた？鍵が。
触れようよ。焦ったなんかと思った。まあ一旦落ち着こう。ちょっと待って。焦った、めっちゃ走った。いや俺もさ、
ちょっと待って。
俺もジンバルがおかしくなったんよ。
ドンって音がしたんよ、大きい。
あれここやった？
多分分からん。こっちから聞こえて。
あ、扉のとこ？
扉か分からんけど、そこ座っとったんよ。
はい。
で、大きい音がして、その前にも音はしよったんよね。
俺もドンって聞こえた。
で、ドンってもうやばいと思って、でちょうどスピードしよったんよね。で、やばいと思ってもう逃げてしまったんよ、私。
音で
びっくりして。
じゃあさっきの音だ。
じゃあもう鍵が閉まった。
俺すんなり開いたよ。
鍵が閉まっちゃうんかわからん。鍵が閉まっちゃうんかわからんけど、あかんかったの、これが。鍵をこうカチャカチャしよって。
なんで？
それでもあかんで。
俺来たらすんなり開いたよね。
ちょっとわからん。
All sorts of haunting things happened, and after all of this, they decided to make their way back home. The hotel lived up to its name of being extremely haunted with sounds and moving objects, so even the most brave of ghost hunters would not have coped. Each and every video at the moment includes a clip from Ian, also known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter. One of his more recent explorations came in a haunted manor that was local to him, and after a lot of research, he decided to give it a search. This adventure has conjured up countless amazing clips of haunted activity that we have explored, and the one here does not disappoint either. Have a look.
What else does he have in here? Anything in there? No. Oh, gross. What is that? What does it look like? Almost like fingernail clippings in there. Yeah, I'm definitely not touching those. What is that? Holy sh! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! What was that? What was that? It was the coat hanger! How do you explain that? Oh, I'm sorry, Hank. I didn't mean to disrespect you. I'll leave you alone if you want me to. Do you want me to leave? Okay. I'm leaving.
Ian entered the bedroom of one of the children in the manor, and he expected this place to be the least haunted in the building. To his dismay, though, it did not live up to his hypothesis. A clothing hanger launched itself out of a drawer onto the floor in front of Ian, and it jump-scared him, rather than straight up putting him into fear. This was a mysterious event, and he was lucky to have caught it on camera. Funerals are when you manage to capture people at their lowest points, and this is because these events are very depressing. Losing a loved one is mentally scarring for everybody, and hence why nobody is in a good mood at these events, but at least the majority are not haunted. The only thing that is worse than a funeral is a haunted one, and the attendees of the funeral that this clip came from would agree with this. Have a watch. white balloon started to drift towards the wife of the man who died, and she almost sensed that it was her husband doing this. While the majority of the people at the funeral were given the creeps by this incident, she held the balloon close, knowing that it was likely her husband of 20 years saying his final goodbyes. This would be why she broke down into even more tears. The following video took place very early in the morning at a convenience store that had absolutely no business being haunted. It was a super irrelevant store, and no form of spiritual events had ever been recorded there, making it the last place a gambler would put their money on being haunted. However, despite the odds being low, they were not at zero, and one day, while two members of staff were preparing to open the store for the day, they experienced this.
Nos encontramos aquí en mi trabajo. Al fondo se observa una cámara de refrigeración donde parte de la tarde se han estado abriendo y cerrando solitas las puertas. Hay momentos que se calma, pero de repente empiezan otra vez a abrirse y cerrarse. Me voy a mover para allá para ver de cerca a ver qué pasa. Nos vamos acercando a la cámara. Jorgito es uno de mis compañeros de aquí de trabajo. ¿Qué pasó, hijo? ¿Qué se cayó? Vean. Ahí ya empezaron a abrir también. Vean, observen. Híjole. Vamos a tratar de no acercarnos, Jorgito, porque... Vean cómo se están abriendo las puertas. Vamos a ver de aquel lado. Ahí se ve cómo se están abriendo y cerrando. Toda la tarde ha estado pasando esto, y inclusive ya hay gente que se dio cuenta, clientes. Y híjole, la verdad sí es un poco temeroso. Ya le hablé a mi supervisor para que, vean, ya le hablé a mi supervisor para que viniera a ver esto que está pasando. No me cree, pero digo, quedó de venir, hasta ahorita no ha venido. Y no nos hemos atrevido a ir a la parte de atrás en la cámara porque pues nos da un poco de temor, ¿no? Porque pues esto es algo sobrenatural. Pero vamos, Jorgito, allá atrás a ver qué pasa. Vean. Vamos a ver qué pasa. Vamos a arriesgarnos a ir. Vamos a arriesgarnos porque a ver qué pasa. Esta es la parte de la entrada de la cámara. Vamos a ver qué pasa. O sea, ahora sí que... Ay, dijo, no sé si oyeron. Jorgito, ve a ver, hijo. Mira. ¿Sí? Veamos qué pasa.
Strangely, the refrigerator doors continued to open and close themselves whilst they were being filmed, and it was almost as if they had a mind of their own. The two members of staff were freaked out by this for obvious reasons and immediately alerted their manager over text message. Unfortunately, their manager did not take this quote, excuse, and demanded that they continue working for the day or they would be fired from the job. Was the boss in the wrong? Let me know in the comments. Alonzo was a well-known ghost hunter within his community, and almost everybody came to him when they had a problem regarding the spiritual world. With his strong portfolio and muscular build, nobody could say no to him and his services. But one day, a mission got a little bit too difficult for his liking. It took place on a Sunday, and he was being paid extremely high money to work this day. It was immediately after entering the supposedly haunted vicinity that he caught this phenomenon on camera.
Vitoriano, saludos. Carolina. ¡Ay, no, madre! ¡Uy, no, qué fue eso! Perdón, amigos, grité como mujer. Grité como mujer. ¿Hay alguien ahí? Buenas noches. Grité como mujer, amigos. Buenas noches. ¿Quién eres? ¿Hay alguien? ¿Hay alguien ahí? Buenas noches. ¿Qué fue eso? Uy, 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 uy. No mames, no hay nadie. ¿Hay alguien? ¿Hay alguien? No hay nadie aquí. Se me desenfocó.
It was very clear that some sort of spirit was behind the door, and anybody in their right minds would agree with me on that statement. This was the first telltale sign that what Alonzo was dealing with was in fact a real threat, and he should approach the rest of the task with caution. Subscribe to the channel, as this was only one clip from a long mission made by Alonzo, and his story will be further developed in our next video. Similar to another clip in this video, our next video was captured by somebody working in a store, except this time it was the manager who experienced the event. The time was 10 at night, and he had come to the store to make sure that the cleaning staff had done their job on his weekly checkup that came on a random day to attempt to catch them out if they were slacking. The cleaners did a decent job, but there were some critiques that the manager managed to pick out, and he was about to call his staff members and explain it to them. Little did he know that he was not going to be able to do that.
Ya. ¿Qué hora es? Van a ser 10 para las 2. Y algo me tiene intrigado. Iremos a grabar. Carrito me estaba molestando harto rato y de verdad que no sé si es verdad lo que me dicen de acá. No sé qué onda. Vamos a hacérnoslo. Hay algo así que me molesta. Conchetumare. Bacán.
At the very end of the clip, the shopping cart moved on its own accord, which was disturbing to say the least. It was obvious that no visible force was acting upon the shopping cart, so whatever caused this must have not been visible to the human eye, leading me to believe it was an external entity, also known as a spirit. The following incident took place on an ordinary Tuesday evening in a small apartment building that had no reputation for being haunted. It was the kind of place where nothing out of the ordinary ever happened. No spooky rumors, no strange noises in the middle of the night, and certainly no tales of ghostly apparitions. In short, it was the last place anyone would expect something supernatural to occur. But as the old saying goes, never say never. Zach, a laid-back guy who preferred to unwind in his room after a long day, was minding his business when all of a sudden this happened.
Oh, fucking hella trash. But that's no reason for fucking shit to. That's no reason for to occur. You douchebag. You fucking ass. Bro, chill. Easily explainable. Maybe I knocked down your shit. There was a whole situation where I moved. Where I moved your fucking.
Suddenly, a few items fell from the kitchen counter right in front of his very eyes. Startled, Zach sat up straight. He turned his head towards the items cautiously and knew that something was up. It was obvious that no items were acting upon the countered property. A purple snap is a feature on Snapchat that refers to a user sending a video to one of their friends. These are very useful for sending short and quirky videos to people in search of a quick laugh or an awe, and this is all Roger wanted to do. He was home alone and texting a girl, so he thought that it would be a good idea for him to start filming his dogs doing tricks before giving them each a treat to spark some more conversation. Now, on a surface level, there was absolutely nothing wrong with this idea, and nothing could have gone wrong. But of course, you're watching a haunter video, so something terrible must have happened. Take a look for yourself.
Sit. Good girls. Pow! Pow! Whatever. Let me get you a treat. Alright, wait. There it is. There you go. That was weird. Okay.
The drawer took it upon itself to open whilst Roger was in the room, and this sent him into a state of utter and complete shock. He quickly saved the snap to his camera roll and planned to upload it to YouTube, which is how I actually managed to get my hands on it. It is an unexplainable clip, and I cannot think of any way in which he could have made it up, but of course feel free to prove me wrong in the comment section. After uploading the footage to YouTube, Roger expected nothing more than a few likes and a bit of advice, but when little to nothing came from it, and nobody helped him out, he lost all sense of hope. Fortunately, the spirit had not made a second appearance, and it seemed to be a one-time instance. But just as this thought came to his head, this clip was taken. Afterwards, Roger decided that he was not going to tolerate this poltergeist for any longer and dialed a friend of a friend who happened to be a ghost hunter. They are currently in the process of cleansing the house of all demons, and we can only hope that Roger is okay soon. Leaving your house and becoming independent can be a difficult time for everybody, and it is pretty obvious as to why. The change from having your parents do everything for you to becoming completely self-reliant is super overwhelming, and this was the case for the young Russian man in our next video. He had only recently moved out into his own home and was rather confident about the switch of lifestyle. Perhaps he should have been more cautious though, because what actually went down whilst he was alone was not nice at all. Just 3 days in, this was recorded. All around his new home, things started to happen, and I bet he wished he had his mother's shoulder to cry on. He actually called his parents and asked to move back in to recover from this stressful experience to which they fortunately took him in. I mean, fortunately. Malls or shopping centers are locations that tend to be bustling with life and joy, but trust me, there is nothing more eerie than a closed one late at night. If you ask any mall security guard to describe their job in 3 words, the word creepy will more than likely be one of them, and the video that I am going to showcase is part of this reason. The time was 2 a.m. and a security officer was patrolling around the local shopping center, specifically a clothing store. To his fortune, there were no intruders, but there were certainly some suspicions. Have a watch.
Ni apagaron las luces.
No sé. No hay nada, literalmente ni nadie. Aquí en la tienda, en esta plaza, ni nada. Pero hay algo que me llama mucho la atención dentro de este lugar. Desde hace un rato ya he estado viendo cómo se mueve una prenda en específico. No sé si puedan verla. Qué pedo. No mames. Literal no hay nadie. Estoy aquí solo. Y vean cómo se mueve. Oh, no mames. Qué pedo. No mames. No mames, se apagaron todo. Y esta madre se sigue moviendo. Oh, no te pases de lanza. Ya me alejé, pero ven cómo se sigue moviendo esto.
For some mysterious reason, one of the t-shirts started waving without any sort of human interaction, and it was clear that no visible force was acting upon it. Furthermore, as if the incident wasn't already frightening enough, the lights turned off, and they were not scheduled to do so at all on that night. The security guard contacted the team and asked them if they did this, to which they stated that they did not. The following video took place in the room of Elias Samuel, and he was enjoying a nice and leisurely Sunday when all of a sudden a spirit decided to ruin it. Elias was watching the new episode of his favorite show on his mobile device and had been waiting months for it to release, and when it did, he watched it without any delay. He was ready to binge a minimum of 5 episodes, but to his dismay, a certain poltergeist had other ideas.
Amigos, tengo rato que escuché que me tocaron la puerta, pero yo pensé que era el señor que me renta. Pero no hay nadie, estoy solo y estoy viendo una película, pero algo como que me están tocando otra vez. se ve nadie. No sé. Creo que tendré que dejar así porque yo no sé nada sobre ese tipo de cosas. La verdad sí tengo miedo de todo esto que está pasando ahorita porque no sé cómo hacerle. ¿Qué hacer? Algo raro. No sé qué está pasando realmente. Esto no tenía por qué haberse movido. ¿Quién eres? ¿Qué quieres? Vete de aquí. Déjame en paz.
Now, if you could not tell, this was not Elias's first encounter with the paranormal world, and it would not be far-fetched to actually call him a regular victim. You can tell from the Ouija board alone that he has experimented with the world of ghosts previously, not to mention that his content has appeared on this channel in other episodes. In this specific video, some mysterious sounds were being broadcasted behind the door, and they were followed by the collapse of several cups within the room. It was blatantly obvious that the cause of these events were a spirit, and unfortunately, there was nothing that Elias could do about it. Suggest some ideas for him down below in the comments. Omar was a strong believer in Jesus Christ and Christianity as a whole, so it came as no surprise when he turned to the religion immediately after encountering spirits. The event happened on February the 5th of 2025, and Omar was doing an activity as simple as lying in bed. Suddenly, he heard something scraping against the ground, and the name of his dead grandfather was whispered down his ear, but the only evidence that he had of this was his own word. It was because of this that he quickly forged a cross to protect him, in case something else randomly happened, and soon enough, it did.
Plebes, son las 3 de la mañana, plebes. Escuché el ruido, plebes. ¿Hay alguien en la pura puerta de mi cuarto, plebes? No sé quién demonios sea, pero me está dando mucho miedo, plebes. Marqué, quise marcar a mi familia. El teléfono me sonaba como si no estuviera en línea. Espíritu Padre que estás en el cielo. Plebe. Mames, plebe. Se está meneando mi calentadora, plebe. No.
The radiator crawled across the floor towards Omar, and he was extremely lucky to have captured such a phenomenon on camera. The only downside to this video was the fact that the cross in which Omar was holding failed to frighten the spirit into leaving him alone, meaning that whatever he was facing must have been a fairly powerful demon, or perhaps just his grandfather, considering the whisper. Abdul has had several features on this channel before, and it is more than obvious at this point that whatever is haunting him is here to stay. It all started several weeks ago when he began to hear some odd noises from downstairs during the night, but ever since that moment, things have just continuously gotten far worse. Nowadays, he does random checkup videos, where he will take his phone out and film the entirety of his house in case something happens, and he has gained a heap of videos from this routine. The video that you are moments away from seeing is one of them. Take a look.
Se han estado escuchando murmullos en toda la casa y de alguna forma no sé si esté tratando de decirme algo de una forma más directa. Se escucha más aquí en la sala y en la recámara he tratado de dejar harina también en la sala, en las sillas, en todos lados porque ha habido más movimiento. Pero las campanas ya... ¡Ay, cabrón! Esto también es lo que quería decir, o sea, Googie ha estado cambiando de posición en toda la recámara y... pues no sé a qué se deba. Solo ocurre en la recámara. Esto también ha estado sucediendo. Incluso dejé un poco de harina en lo que es el asiento y... pero no lo voy a distinguir mucho. Voy a tratar de leer esta misma hoja con más calma en otro momento. Y bueno, los murmullos de chica me cerraron la ventana, pero aquí se escuchan los murmullos y a ver, no pienso abrir la puerta en esta ocasión. Definitivamente no.
All around the house, weird stuff were happening, and in the life of Abdul, this was probably something that he would consider to be on the more light side of things. Usually, his spirit would launch items from across the room in his direction, but this time around, the worst that things got was the turning of a chair. Still scary for the average viewer, nonetheless though. Steve and his beloved wife were a happy couple for many years, and at one point it seemed as if no one or nothing would be able to pull them apart. No matter how many embarrassing things they did, or how many mistakes one of them made, they would always apologize and make up with each other, which was honestly really wholesome to see. However, there is one type of creature that holds the power to ruin things as powerful as love, and this is a poltergeist. Steve started to continuously hear knocking from doors all around the house when his wife was not in, and she thought that he was becoming a psychopath. It was because of this that she left the house and put it on Steve to fend for himself, who had a new ambition to prove the existence of something in the house. After putting motion sensors in the basement, he waited, and eventually he was rewarded.
It's like 11 p.m. I just got out of the shower, about ready to go to bed, and this keeps going off. That's the motion detector in the crawl space. I am scared to death to watch the footage from the camera down there. But we gotta do it. I've been putting this off all day, but it's about to get dark soon, so We need to go down there. This is the last thing that I want to do, but I don't really have a choice. Okay, right over there is where I saw the thing. What was that?
This was a highly disturbing video, and after the footage was checked, Steve regretted his decision of taking action deeply. He would have rather not known that there was a literal demon hiding in his basement, and continued to hear knocking despite it slowly driving him insane. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, and a time that many choose to refer to as the witching hour. The man recording the video was working alone in the small, dimly lit room. The stillness of the night surrounded him, and the soft glow of his screen illuminated the space. He had been working all night, getting lost in his boring task of guarding the facility, when suddenly the silence was abruptly broken. He heard running footsteps from somewhere down the hall, and presumably nearby to the stairs. His eyes darted toward the sound. It was odd. No one else was supposed to be in the building. Eager to find the source of the footsteps, he approached them and investigated. Surprisingly, though he found nothing, the footsteps stopped, leaving only the sound of his breathing. He shook his head, chalking it up to the late hour, but then something else. A soft moan echoed from down the hall. It was low, almost inhuman, and it sent a chill crawling up his spine. He froze, listening intently, waiting for something more, but everything went quiet again before the lights turned off. The man who captured both of these upcoming clips had the birth name of Ian, but his alias was the Midwest Ghost Hunter. This is because he traveled all the land of the Midwest in order to expose the true nature of paranormal activity, and this involved visiting a lot of well-known haunted landmarks. The place that Ian decided to explore in the video that you are about to be exposed to was a haunted manor of which the lore goes way too deep to explain. You don't need lore to understand that this place was beyond haunted though, and if you do not believe me, then take a look for yourself.
Got a K2 meter here. I'm gonna see if I can get any responses from Captain Jacob Colors' ghost. Captain Colors, are you here with me tonight? You were the owner of this building back when it was a hotel. They say that your spirit is still here. Is there any truth to that? If so, could you touch the green light? Is it okay that I'm here? Whoa. Whoa. Oh my God, that was a deep thump in this wall here. Is that a yes? Or is it a no? Ooh, that was weird. I don't know what to think of that. Definitely surprised me though. That was a loud thump. Thump in this wall. Oh God.
Whilst Ian was interrogating the framed image on the wall, looking for answers as to whether he still haunted the building, a large thump was heard from the wall behind it. This coincidentally came after he inquired for an answer, which led him to believe that this was the spirit's way of implying the answer, yes. This was backed up by a sighting just shortly after.
Are there any former residents still living here? Hello? Oh my God! Oh my God! There was somebody over there! Holy shit! I literally just saw a figure peek out of that room over there. It peeked out and it was looking right at me. Holy shit. Who are you? I just seen you. Could you peek out again? Okay, there's definitely somebody in there, which means I have to go check it out. Ooh, yay. Who's in?
Ian saw the figure of what was presumably a poltergeist peek around the corner of a hallway at him, and he was very taken aback by this, because if you know one thing about the paranormal, it should be that apparitions are extraordinarily rare. This was followed up by some mysterious noises that further confirmed the presence of an entity to Ian. Joe and Heather were fast asleep late at night when all of a sudden they started to hear a noise coming from downstairs. Heather was really frightened and told Joe that she would not be investigating the sounds, so he was kind of forced to go and check. In order to reassure his wife, he acted brave and tough whilst he searched the downstairs, but to his dismay, he found nobody. This is when the following happened.
Alright. Kept hearing weird noises, and I know I'm not stupid here. Man, I don't know how much more I take this crap. All right, who's in here? I don't know, but this is freaking me out. Oh, shit. All right, who's there? Heather!
Hey. What is all that noise? I'm trying to sleep.
Get in here, hon. Get in here now. Get in here.
What's wrong?
Get in here. Let's go in here.
Hey.
Just get behind me, get behind me, get behind me. Come on, let's go in here. Come on, come on, come on.
The cabinets in the kitchen began to open and close without any human interaction, and it was clear that whatever was causing this had most certainly caused the sounds that woke the duo up. Joe was utterly terrified, and I am surprised that he was able to stay so composed in such a dire situation. It is something that we can only admire. The following video was uploaded to YouTube by a man called Tyler, but he was not the one who obtained it. His neighbor's house was extremely haunted, and in order to make sure that she wasn't alone, she constantly sent Tyler the footage of her hauntings. One day, Tyler received another email, and eager to see what the supposed spirit had done, now he was very fast to open the app. He did not expect to find his neighbor in the sheer amount of fear that he did.
So this is my room that I sleep in. It's on my Hall of Fame. And I have a pet guinea pig too. Oh, he's so cute. All right. No, 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 no. God, save me. Who knows what could be entering through that door?
First of all, a chair moved across the floor on its own accord, and this frightened the poor woman, who let out a bellowing scream. The chair movement could not have been further away from a natural occurrence, so she knew in her head that it was a spirit. Furthermore, after approaching a doorway, a thud was heard behind it, as if somebody was in there, and this reaction from the girl was much lewder. She had local residents knocking on her door to see if she was okay, and fortunately, she was physically fine. Not mentally, though. Nico was a German man who lived on his own after a recent breakup with his ex-girlfriend. Initially, they decided to move into a rented apartment with each other after university and expand life from there. But after realizing they were fed up with each other and this wasn't the lifestyle for them, they ended it. The girl allowed Nico to keep the household as they used to, both split 50-50 rent, so it was an equal choice as to who could keep it. Little did either of them know that it was haunted, and none of them would have wanted it if they were able to see this video beforehand.
Wenn ihr dachtet, das war schlimm, dann wartet bis zum Ende. Gustav, es ist nicht mehr witzig, Leute. Ich habe ein Kreuz aufgehangen. Und jetzt werden meine Bilder runtergeworfen. Okay, ich kann es jetzt nicht zeigen, weil die Fotos sind privat, aber das geht definitiv viel zu weit, Leute. Pluswerk Herzhotel, das Video unbedingt mit euren Freunden, um nicht zu verpassen, wie wir Gustav, der Hausgeist, Poltergeist oder Dämon loswerden. Einige von euch meinten nämlich, dass es auch ein Dämon sei. Oh Leute, allein die Vorstellung, ich krieg Gänsehaut. Wenn ihr mein Herz hören könnt, wie schnell das rast, das ist wirklich nicht mehr witzig hier. Leute, seht ihr das? Seht ihr das, Leute? Oh mein Gott.
Whilst Nico was lying in bed all snug and comfortable, an item fell to the ground, which forced him out of bed. He walked around the room and spoke to the camera quite a bit, in hopes that he would be able to capture something else cool on a video so that he could impress his friends and social media, and fortunately, he did. Some bags were shaking by themselves, and it was obvious that nothing other than a spirit could have possibly caused this. Logan loved camping, and he did these trips with no intention of coming across ghosts. In fact, he did not even believe in the entities and had a strong passion against them, going as far as becoming angry at people who do believe in spiritual creatures. One day, whilst camping, Logan decided that he had been outside for long enough and yearned for a night inside, so went to stay at the White Lagoon Bothy. He expected this to be a normal place, and a small family was staying there. so surely he was safe. Well, while he might have been protected from rogue travelers, he was not safe from the entities that he deemed as fiction.
Just do for now. Someone left some wooden forks for me as well. There's a whole cutlery set of wooden stuff, so save on washing. Don't know what it is about fires, but there's something so beautiful and hypnotic about just staring into them. This will probably be me for most of the night now. I just get my music on, enjoy this beautiful fire, and then get back outside tomorrow in my hammock. I got one of them water filter straws, and it comes with 2 little bags as well, so you can attach the straw to that. But I've not got to use. Maybe this is the guests. There was no one there. I don't know if that's just the people fucking with me or something. I don't know if that's something they do. But I don't think it would be that family. It was just a dad and his daughter and son. Oh well, we'll see. It was just knocking on the door again, and then I went out.
Logan heard a clustering sound from outside his room, and he was fully aware that he wasn't the only person there because of the family. This is why he assumed that one of them had done it, but after leaving and investigating the scene, he found out there was nobody there, and the family were fast asleep. This was frightening for obvious reasons, but as a non-believer in spirits, Logan assumed the cause were rodents, and he couldn't care less about an infestation due to him leaving the bothy a day later. This was not all he had to suffer, though.
It was just knocking on the door again, and then I went out, but there was no one there, so I don't know what's going on, but I've not heard of any haunted bobbies or anything. I've never had weird shit. Fuck's sake. I just wanted a nice little bobby night. If you've watched all my videos before, you know I don't do shit like this. Fun night. They're walking around into the room, and then I go in there, and it just stops. Maybe I just put my music on really loud and forget about it. Yeah, cameraman never dies, right? So it's been about an hour and a half since I last made a video, and I've just been doing what I said. I've had my music on loud, I've listened to Blink, some drum and bass, some reggae, and I'm doing what I came here to do, and that's have a good fucking night. So I'm enjoying my time by this fire, and have an amazing day tomorrow, back out in nature where I belong. So peace and love, good night. Good morning, had a bit of an experience last night, not really sure what was going on. Thought it was just people knocking the door and running away that were camping nearby, but it didn't seem like that when I went outside. Couldn't really explain what was happening next door with the noises, but I'm not really a believer in ghosts myself. It was a bit creepy, but I'm more of an alien guy. But if you are into ghosts and all that paranormal stuff, these are not the videos for you, because this is not what I do, this is not what I'm about. I'm just a...
Paired alongside the bangs was a new noise, and these ones came from next door. Out of utter curiosity, Logan ventured outside to find the cause, but to his dismay, nobody was there. He did not think that this was a spirit, but I like to think it was. Comment your thoughts down below. The following video was captured by a man who had only recently moved house, and to say he was going through a tough time would be putting things lightly. In the past 3 months, his mother, grandfather, and uncle had passed away. His girlfriend left him, and he had to help with the planning for all 3 funerals, so stress levels were through the roof. What people need in times like these is some peace and quiet, and the man tried his hardest to obtain it. However, the fact that he was moving to another house alongside a second factor that you're about to be showcased made this impossible. Here is the second factor.
Jackson is like laser ass focused on this right now. He won't, like, you alright? I know. I think something's wrong. I don't know. I hear noises, but I'm not even sure. Are you f***ing kidding me right now? There is no way that just happened. There is no way that just happened. There is no way. What's wrong with you?
First of all, an item flew across the room as if a spirit had launched it, and the man claimed to have felt a cool breeze of air when it happened, which is a huge telltale for ghosts in the area. Furthermore, the dog looked extremely unsettled, and just as it started to bark the door, it was becoming aggressive towards closed on its own accord, practically confirming the case to the man. He sent it to his family group chat and his friendship group chat, and one of them posted it to social media. We are lucky that this was the case, or the clip would have never made its way back. Glamping is a method of going on holiday outdoors, and it is derived from the 2 words glamorous and camping. This is because it is an outdoor adventure that involves indoor accommodation, so it's much easier than the actual thing. The video that you are about to see was taken by Talia, a young woman who wanted to go glamping with nobody other than her dog, after an argument back at home. Everything went smoothly until roughly 11 p.m. when something terrifying occurred out of seemingly nowhere.
Come on, baby. Yeah, let's go. We spots? Was that Dalmatian? Okay. You just wanted to be in the video. Say hey. We may have to go inside. Yeah, because what is that? Let's go inside. Let's go inside. It's super far away, but like, no, what is that? Yo, come on. Come on, yo. You came inside so fast. Yeah, I don't know what that was, but we in for the night. We in for the night.
A scream of pain and suffering, presumably from a little girl, echoed around the entire woodlands, and it was no surprise that it reached the ears of Talia. She was horrified and instantly rushed into her camper van and beckoned the dog to do the same, to which it obeyed. The next day, once she woke up, they drove all the way back home and vowed never to come back to these woods again. This was not the only haunting experience from this location. The woods were located in Alapatian, and it was known for one peculiar word, hey. This is because there have been several complaints from people paying to stay in the woods regarding hearing that word, whispered down their ears at random intervals, but Manby suspect that it is a marketing scheme from the owners to bring more people down. Well, this video, filmed by Ali, begged to differ. Have a watch.
Such a beautiful day.
Yes. That view was amazing.
Oh, wow, so worth all the trouble.
Yeah.
The singular word, hey, could be heard whispered down her ear, but for some reason she wasn't able to pick up on the fact that it was said. She was too focused on the beautiful nature around her, as well as her phone, whilst she was filming it for a Snapchat group chat. It was one of her friends who asked her where they came from, and they were all in shock after hearing the backstory. The following video was captured inside of a haunted manor, and it was filmed by one of, if not the most famous ghost hunter on YouTube, Ian. If you have watched any other haunter videos from the last month, you will have seen Ian before, but put into a nutshell, he visited this location because it was very close to his house, and he makes an awful lot of money from his ghost hunts, so he might as well have. This is what he managed to capture.
The other rooms I haven't been to yet. Hello? Is anyone in here? See if anyone's in here. Hello? Anyone in here? What was that? What was that? That sounded like a man screaming. Oh God. Hello? I really don't want to do this. Who's yelling? Okay, from this way. Oh my God, what the fuck is that? Who's there? It's coming from this end of the building. Oh my God. Oh God, here we go. Hello? Hello? Who's up here?
All sorts of unhuman-like noises echoed around the house, and they were almost used as bait to guide Ian to wherever it deemed fit. It eventually took him to a mysterious corridor, where he heard even more sounds, but little did he know that the worst was yet to come. Subscribe to Haunter so you do not miss the next video, because Ian's exploration of the haunted manor will continue. Louise was home alone one night waiting for her husband Michael to come home from work. She was getting rather frustrated because he had got stuck in a traffic jam and she hated sleeping when she was the only one in the house due to some past experiences with break-ins, so she was forced to stay awake. When it got to roughly 10 p.m., she called her husband again to see if there was any progress in advancing through the traffic, but to her dismay, there was none. This is when Louise decided to record a short video explaining the situation to her friends to gain comfort from them, but roughly halfway through this happened.
Don't like it. I'm down, fucking wake up. I hate it. Fucking bollocks. Fucking bollocks.
For some reason, the bottle of alcohol had a mind of its own and decided to start shaking on the table. Despite being scared, at first Louise was not frightened enough to flee the scene, but immediately after the bottle collapsed, she was certain that some form of entity was messing with it. She fled the house and visited her mother before sending the clip to Michael. He posted it online. Most people tend to be fearful and cowardly when it comes to encountering a spirit, but the man in the following video was the complete opposite and took absolute control of the situation. He was relaxing in his living room one day as calm as he could be and had just finished eating dinner when suddenly he noticed something. An item on the table beside him had supposedly moved on its own accord. Instead of being a coward and running away from the scene though, he filmed this.
Do it again. Move it again. Holy shit. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Holy shit. Look at that shit on fucking camera, dude. Move it again. Keep it fucking quiet, dude. I'm fucking a little bit freaked out.
As I said, this man was not a coward and took the complete amount of control in this scenario. He asked the ghost in a commanding voice to do it again several times, and to his fortune, the spirit listened. It goes to show that the way you carry both yourself and your voice makes a huge difference on how you are treated, even when it comes to ghosts. In the following video, Kyle, a student fresh into university and new to the living alone lifestyle, was relaxing in his flat when he started to hear some screams. When I say a scream, I mean the loudest and most excruciating scream you can imagine, and it terrified him. At first it sounded like the sound was coming from the outside out of concern. Kyle went to the window, and if he saw anything suspicious, he was going to call the police. Little did he know that he was about to find out that the noises were coming from within his own four walls.
No, I swear to God, there was like some...
What the f*** is that? What the f*** is that? You gotta be kidding me! Who goes there? Who goes there? That shit cannot be real. What the f***? You gotta be kidding me. What the f*** was that? You gotta be kidding me. Oh, you gotta be messing with me. I swear to God, this gotta be a joke. Whoever's in here, I command you to leave in the name of Jesus Christ. I asked you to leave now. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. I got adrenaline going right through my body. Fuck. What the fuck is that? Ah, shit! Shit! What the fuck? Who goes there? You gotta be kidding me. Wasn't this shit closed? Oh, oh shit. What the is that? Guys, you gotta be kidding me. Oh shit. What's the fucking thing? Oh, I'm getting a headache badly. I'm getting a fucking headache badly. Oh,
There is absolutely no word out there that would accurately describe how confused Kyle was by this event, because no matter where he looked in his house, the screaming girl could not be found. When he went into a certain room, it sounded as if she was right next to him, but of course, this was not the case. Around 10 minutes after the screaming stopped, the police arrived at Kyle's apartment and conducted a full search because all of his neighbors had reported it in fear that Kyle was harming people. But after showing them the video, they believed that he was innocent. But this was not the end. Kyle went about a week with nothing happening inside of his home, and he was starting to believe that the event was just a one-time phenomenon that he would be able to forget about and move on from. This was nothing but a wish though, because after this peaceful week, the poltergeist made another appearance.
What the f***? Oh, f***. What the f***? What the f***? Alexa! Stop the music! Alexa, stop! What the f***? In the name of Jesus Christ, I ask you to leave this house right now. What the f***? Who goes there? Somebody's in there, you better come out right now. I got a knife on me right now. Come out right now. Oh! In the name of Jesus Christ. I ask you to come out. Who's in here? Who's in here right now? You better come out.
This time, some demented laughter was used to lure Kyle into the screaming, and the neighbors were once again concerned. This time, the police gathered all sorts of evidence to try and prove that Kyle had done something evil to a woman that night. But no matter how much they scrounged the building, nothing was found. It is reassuring knowing that the forces cared this much, and equally as good that Kyle was not falsely prosecuted. On November the 30th of 2020, during the coronavirus pandemic, everybody was home alone, doing their own thing. The majority of people were completing their work from laptops or rotting away on their gaming consoles, but not Austin. In fact, he was rather bored. He was retired, so he had no job, and he knew about as much when it came to technology as you know about the engine of a Fiat 500, my point being nothing. However, he knew how to record, and that skill came in handy when something mysterious started happening inside of his house. The cupboard opened and closed continuously, and using his brain power, Austin knew to record the cupboard to make it evident that nothing was making this happen. He did a good job at this, and you would be a fool to claim that a visible force was acting upon this object, so that leaves one solution that you all know. This was a paranormal encounter, Austin sent the video to his family group chat, and it was posted to social media by one of his relatives. We have no updates, so all we can do is hope that Austin is okay. One thing that comes with social media is trends, and these things can go from harmless dances such as the Renegade to deadly and manipulative games like Blue Whale. Well, what if I told you that there was a small-scale trend on the internet called The Sky is Blue, and here is how it goes. It is a paranormal game where the person playing is supposed to recite the words to a poem and then pan the camera into a doorway. It was supposed that after panning into the doorway, you would see a face, whether it be clear or a faint image. And one day, a woman wanted to test that. This is how that went.
The sky is blue, and I see you. 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 The sky is blue, and I see you.
It took several attempts, and we have to admire how courageous she was for doing this. Her persistence must also be mentioned, because despite failing several times, she kept reciting the final lines of the poem. At the final doorway, something fell from the roof, and this not only frightened, but confused the woman. The trend was supposed to reveal a face, and not just a paranormal event, so it made no sense as to why the real thing didn't happen. But I guess life has many mysteries, and this is just one of them. Mark and Sarah both lived in a small house together and were finally in the stage of life that they wanted to be in. Sarah was pregnant with their first child. Mark had proposed to her, and they were both earning incomes, which made them more than stable when combined. It was the life they had both dreamed of having together, until they realized their rented house was likely haunted. Day in and day out, they would hear mysterious noises, and whenever they went to investigate, something would be different in the room, such as a misplaced ornament. Well, this time, something different happened when Mark went to investigate, and he was lucky enough to catch it on his camera.
I heard the noise again from back here. I heard the noise again from back here. Holy shit.
What? What is it?
Sarah, come look at this.
What?
Look at this. Look at the
The kitchen drawer slowly opened, and it was clear that nothing made this happen. Mark called Sarah to let her know what had happened, and she was really freaked out with the fact that something actually moved in front of his very own eyes. They needed to get out of this place, and it needed to be soon. Now, you've all heard of the term baby steps, right? It's when you take something one small step at a time, and after a long period, the progress will have gone far. However, have you heard of the term ladder steps? No, because it doesn't exist. That would be a silly saying, because ladders aren't able to walk as they're not human, right? Well, this roadside construction worker proved this statement incorrect when his ladder made a run for it. It may have walked away at the speed of a snail, but a walking ladder is insane nonetheless. The worker who captured this uses it as a claim to fame and tells the story to every new ally that he comes across. It is safe to say that he was relieved rather than terrified by the incident. For the final clip, we are delving back into the ghost hunts of the star of the show on this channel, Ian, also known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter. Ian has been hunting spirits for several years now, and calling him a professional in this field would be an understatement. The following video took place in a haunted manor local to his house that he thought he might as well visit for some content. His expectations of the manor were low, but due to it being such a nearby location, there would be no loss in visiting. It turned out to be the right decision, considering his goal was to be haunted.
Come towards you, okay? Whoa. I'm hearing like tapping sounds on the wall. Is that you, Susie? She literally just tapped on one of these coloring pages. It was like this. It was one of those. Susie, I heard you really like coloring. Is that true? If so, could you move one of these coloring pages? I see you got a whole coloring book here too. Is this your favorite color book? Oh my god! Oh my god! She just flipped the page! What the What did I just witness? She literally just flipped the page on that color book. I cannot believe what I just seen. I cannot believe that. Susie? Did you just flip this page? Are these your favorite? Your favorite pages? I have got goosebumps on my goosebumps. Could you flip to another page? I'd like to see what else is in here.
It was clear that Susie's favorite coloring book was in fact that one, and she moved it in order to convey this. Now, unlike most spirits that have the intention of causing torment and suffering, for some reason, Susie seemed to just want company and taught Ian things about herself. This was on the least scary side of his encounters for certain. The following video was captured by Elias Samuel, a man of whom has known his situation regarding spirits for a prolonged period of time. It all started a few weeks ago when he noticed some suspicious things happening in his room, and ever since then, it has progressively worsened. The best that Elias could do to counter these hauntings was order a Ouija board and give it a try a couple of times, but unfortunately, he failed, and the spirit continued to strike like it did in this short clip. Have a watch.
Amigos, sigo escuchando ruido. No sé qué, hasta cuándo va a terminar esto. ¿Qué? Se oye como que un niño llora. Esto no tenía por qué haberse movido. Por favor, ya que termine esto ya. No sé cómo hacer para cerrar esto. No sé qué pasa.
Elias, clearly in fear and panic, had no idea what to do when he saw the figure fly into the air and simply continued to stand there and film the instance, entering freeze mode rather than fight or flight. Moments later, he heard some inexplicable sounds coming from the other side of his door, and out of complete last resort conclusions, stopped the recording, hoping that this would incentivize the attention-seeking poltergeist to give it a break. Sadi was living a difficult life at home and pinned it down to the fact that her house was haunted. It took her a very long period of time to come to this bold conclusion, and when she did, she made her decision almost immediately. She would be moving house and relocating to a completely different city. Due to the distance between the cities, though, she had to stay elsewhere whilst her belongings were transported to the new house, and so she got in touch with an old friend and her husband. With open arms, they allowed Sadi into their home and made her feel welcome, allowing her to stay for a week free of charge, providing she brought her own food. I doubt they would have been so generous if they had known that Sadi's spirit had followed her to this new location.
Son las... no sé si se alcanza a ver, las 3 de la mañana con 1 minuto, y mi hermana me acaba de levantar porque dice que se escuchan ruidos en el cuarto. Mi esposo y mi niña están dormidos y vamos a ir a ver qué se escucha en el cuarto. No hay nadie, solamente estamos mi hermana, mi hija, mi esposo y yo. Aquí en este cuarto está solo porque en estos últimos días nadie ha podido dormir aquí. Como podrán ver, el cuarto está totalmente solo y pues nadie duerme aquí, solo estamos nosotros. Mi hermana dice que se escuchan cosas, pero... ay, me asusté. Pero no sé, pues no se oye nada. No se oye... Amor, amor, levántate. Levántate porque ya le pegaron a la puerta. No sé qué pasó. Vinimos Sari y yo. Se escuchó la puerta. Se escuchó la puerta. Mira, acabamos de venir y no estaba así. Todos los cajones están abiertos. Oh, Dios. Ven, amor.
¿El cuarto? ¿Se movió el cuarto?
Esa. La niña está dormida. Estamos solos. No sabemos qué fue lo que pudo haber pasado. Mi esposo anda viendo. ¿Qué fue eso? ¿Qué es, amor?
Se movió la puerta, no sé qué. ¿Qué va a estar aquí? Nada. A ver, espérate.
No hay nada. No hay nada en el baño.
From mysterious banging noises to cupboards that should not have opening, it was clear that something paranormal was going on here, and considering Sadi's history, the family hosting her were quick to point fingers. They instantly changed their minds about letting Sadi have a free stay and charged a ridiculous rent, which she reluctantly had to accept because she had nowhere else to go. You bet that the hauntings continued, and they became even worse than the first. This time around, the time was 3 a.m., and all 3 of the residents were awoken by mysterious noises and banging on the door. Eager to gather some more evidence of the whole saga, Sadi began to film and caught this.
Seguimos grabando porque no dejan de escucharse los ruidos. Son las 3:19 de la mañana. No dejan de escucharse las cosas. ¿Abre la puerta?
¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? A ver, abren la puerta.
Cuidado, cuidado.
Yo primero.
Se escucha bien claro, pero no hay nadie. No hay nadie afuera de la casa.
Vale, te lo pongo enfrente. Mira.
Solamente se escuchan todos. La gente ahorita a estas horas está dormida. No sabemos qué sea. Ya tenemos días sintiendo cosas extrañas. Últimamente se siente una vibra medio extraña. No sabemos qué sea. ¡Ay, Dios! ¿Viste la mona en la cabeza? La cabeza de la mona.
Es por los nervios, mi amor, es por los nervios.
Estamos solos. No sabemos qué hacer.
Me está dando el Parkinson.
Unsurprisingly, there was nobody behind the door, and it was evident that there was nowhere that the culprit would have been able to hide had it been a human. Furthermore, the doll/toy also managed to move on its own accord, which would have put the people present into a state of fear for many different reasons. To the surprise of everybody, though, they really liked the easy income that they were making from the overpriced rent, though, and still allowed Sadi to stay. But what happened 2 days later pushed them over the line.
Seguimos aquí en la grabación. Mi esposo fumando, que no falta el vicio. Mi hermana aquí casi llorando. ¡La puerta!
¿Quién anda ahí?
Vean, es que no hay nadie. No es nadie. Todo se ve absolutamente solo. No hay absolutamente... ¡Ay, esperen! ¡Ay, güey! ¡Las cielas!
Aquí están todas paniqueadas, todas asustadas.
Los perros
Vamos a ver para allá adentro qué se mira, qué se ve.
Los perros así toda... Los perros así toda la noche. Toda la noche. Desde las 3 de la mañana hasta como a las 4:30. Así están. Ciérrale, hija, por favor. La mona no la quisimos ya ni tocar. Vean.
Dígame, tengo miedo.
Vamos a ver allá. Pero no hay nada. Amor,
¿Qué pasó?
¿escuchaste?
Sí.
¿Estás bien, hija? ¡Ay, güey!
No manches,
Ve.
Ya córtale.
Ay, no.
Se acaba de terminar, se cayó el aire.
Ya hay que
No.
dejar de grabar.
Ya vamos a acostarnos. Ya, mañana será otro día. Vamos a descansar.
In this final clip of the saga, a lot of strange things happened, so I am going to cover the majority of them. First of all, the sound of the door knocking happened again, which caused the trio to group together in the sitting room before the man of the house opened the doors to investigate. Nervously, the women followed, but right behind them, the door was slammed without any logical and probable cause. In a rush, they all made their way back indoors, because the situation had frightened them to put it at a bare minimum, but everything carried on indoors. Falling objects were all over the joint, and it was safe to say there was no escape. Sadi was kicked out of the house and left to fend for herself once again. This next video was a product of Emax, who is a well-known ghost hunter who uses the very platform that you are using, YouTube, to document his ghostly findings. His main gimmick is exploring abandoned places which have any sort of ties that could lead to it being a place of paranormal activity, and he often finds some pretty good locations. In recent times, he explored an abandoned hospital deep in Taiwan, known for its random surges in spiritual activity, and he had a good time when it came to gathering content during his stay. However, he did not feel like he managed to capture the full scale of how haunted this place truly was, and so decided to give it a second visit and actually found more than he thought he was going to. Take a look. Surprisingly, there was a bang that came from deeper into the hospital, and this left Emax in a state of horror for quite some time, not being able to act upon it, other than slowly turning around to see if anything was with him. It was when he followed the direction of the sound that a door ahead of him creaked its way open, and Emax was given a real fright. This next clip requires a very attentive approach in order to truly understand what happened, and I would like to present it as a bit of a challenge. If you can spot what happened in this short, 50-second clip that showcased a paranormal presence, then comment down below and show everybody that you have some eagle eyes. It took place in the house of Kiki, who had 2 loving children at her disposal. They all slept in the same room, because she was a very paranoid mother when it came to things like the kids being at risk alone at night, and one day, they were. All sorts of odd sounds were echoing around the bedroom, and momentarily later, Kiki decided to film the situation, and then this happened. Remember to comment if you notice.
Ventana es la puerta del cuarto, la que están tocando, no mames. Hay alguien afuera de la puerta del cuarto, güey, pero no es un puto humano. Ay, no. Voy a sentar aquí porque ya se recorrieron mis hijos. Entonces.
No, te pintaste aquí.
¿Sí ven en dónde están mis hijos? Carajo.
Did you comment your answer? Well, if you paid close attention to the door in the background, you would notice that it was consistently changing its state from open to closed whenever it left the frame and rejoined it. This was very spooky, and upon realizing, Kiki made it her mission to find an exorcist. Being a security guard must be one of, if not the most frightful job around, and that is specifically applying to the ones who operate in the nighttime. The feeling of being alone in a late and closed environment can make anyone feel vulnerable, and despite lots of training, even the most experienced of night guards tend to become nervous on certain shifts. That was the case for the one who captured the 3 clips that I am about to show you, who goes by the name of Ragulzu on social media, and what he captured during his shift at a local school was bewildering.
Y aquí en la escuela cuando empiezan a ladrar los perros así a llorar. Ah, visto. Ahí empieza a joder, como a golpear. Todas las noches hace lo mismo. ¿Qué pasa? Tempranito empiezan a hinchar las pelotas.
Somehow, despite the door banging for a good 20 minutes, and then proceeding to open, it was clear that nobody was residing on the other side, meaning that some sort of crazy yet logical solution happened, or it was a spirit. With one-off situations like this, it can be hard to differentiate and tell whether it was a ghost or not. But what if I told you that this was not really a one-off? This time around, Ragulzu was in the bathroom because the janitor had just finished in there, but had mistakenly left all of the lights on. When it came to matters such as this, the task was delegated to Ragulzu to sort things out, and in serious instances, he was paid more. But no amount of money would have incentivized him to go through what he did in that bathroom for a second time on the spin. Some sort of moan or wailing sound echoed around the bathroom, and it was honestly quite disturbing. The fact that it was followed by the closing of the door, though, really put the icing on the cake, and made sure Ragulzu went home the following morning, debating whether or not his job was even worth what he was being paid. In order to have a valid reason to quit the job without a 2-week notice, Ragulzu needed a plan, and he came up with the perfect one. All he needed to do was set up a camera, relax, and hope he caught one more instance on video. And sure enough, the plan was a success.
Agua bendita. San Benito Padre, protege. Y basta, basta. Tiraron las tapas de la olla. ¡Ah, qué olor a podrido, Dios! Se escucha. El baño. Ah, bueno.
Whilst he was filming, the cabinet door behind him slowly opened with a horrifying creaking sound, and Ragalzu instantly walked out of the place after this, handing in his leaving notice. His boss could not argue after all. The evidence was concrete. The following video was captured by a man called Stephen, somebody with absolutely no ties to the paranormal. He did not believe nor interact with anything that linked to spiritual entities, so he is the last person that you would look at and expect to be in one of my videos. But of course, there is a first for everything. One day, Stephen was in his living room when he started to hear some mysterious noises ringing around his household. Immediately after hearing them, he started to film and went to investigate for the source of the sounds, and to his dismay, he caught this on camera.
I keep hearing weird noises and trying to figure out where it's coming from in the house. Oh my God.
When he came to the entrance to his kitchen, he realized that he had scanned the whole house and nobody was in there. Furthermore, the noises abruptly stopped, which was coincidental, considering it stopped just as he began to search. Right in front of him, a box slid from one side of his kitchen table to the other, and this freaked him out for obvious reasons. He had no clue how to advance after this and did not give us any future updates, meaning that the end to this spooky tale remains a mystery. Jackson loved his grandmother to pieces, and when she eventually passed away to cancer, he was deeply saddened. His grandmother was his best friend, and in order to make sure she was commemorated, to the full extent he volunteered to help his mother with everything, including clearing her household of items and working out what to do with them. This was meant to be a depressing but normal task, with no weird things happening other than the doom and gloom in their heads. But it did not take long for the grandmother's house to start showing signs of a poltergeist presence.
Yeah. It's quiet at the moment. You don't really see anything. What the hell was that? Someone just moved it. Just did a bang. Jesus Christ. Look, you can see this is like... You can see there's nothing on it. God, it must have been heavy to be able to move that.
Strangely, the cross moved without any sort of probable cause, and it was clear that nothing visible had made this occur. Jackson's grandmother was a deeply religious woman, so it would have made sense for her to lead Jackson to the cross and therefore show him that she was there at heart. But of course, there could be a far worse meaning. One thing that spirits enjoy playing with is the cross, especially evil ones. and this was a telltale sign that a demon could have infested the house. But hoping this was just a coincidence, Jackson and his mother continued their task.
God, that was scary. What the hell?
What's that?
Santa fell.
What did that fall on?
It fell from there.
What did it break?
Nothing's broken. It just fell from there. It was literally there. I don't want to put it back in case it drops again. It was just up there and it literally fell.
Shut up, stupid.
See, she don't believe me. Weird. Did you see that?
What?
The card just fell.
What card?
That one there.
No, I didn't see it fall.
Yeah, because you haven't been watching. So she just ignores it. She thinks there's nothing going on.
Isn't it time to play about them later? This is supposed to be a party tonight.
Oh, I don't remember that moving.
Who's it?
Did you see that?
No.
Stupid games.
Stop it, Nathan. Stop.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing anything. I told you I'm not doing anything.
You're not funny.
No, I'm not funny.
Funny at all.
This time around, a Santa ornament from a few Christmas seasons ago fell to the ground with a loud thud and startled Jackson's mother. Unfortunately for Jackson, she thought that he was being silly or attempting to prank her, so he was not believed. That must have been a painful thing to endure. It is horrible not being listened to despite telling the truth, and the spirit unfortunately made Jackson so through that. Tim Saver was a security guard at the storage unit for large-scale companies, meaning some of the items stored in the facility had valuable assets that, if lost, would put him in grave trouble. This is why he took his job very seriously, and no matter how spooky or creepy something became, he would prevail, and he stuck to his word in the video that you are about to watch. Tim was working late at night and patrolling the storage units when all of a sudden he heard a bang from one of the units. In case of an intruder, he approached the unit, which happened to be opened by a crack, and slowly entered. This is what happened.
I was hurt during this encounter. This is not the same entity. It's not her.
Please protect me, God. I guess we're doing this.
Hello?
Shit. Hello? Who's there? Hello?
Rather than a person being in there, the unit had some mannequins inside of it, and one of them slowly creeped forward, presumably to frighten Tim, but he was not quite fazed. However, in order to push him onto the edge of insanity, the spirit toppled the mannequin to the ground and threw glass everywhere, forcing him to run away and press his red button to bring the police in. After a search, they found nobody and nothing was missing. The event was labeled as paranormal, and the storage unit paid a small compensation fee to the owners of the unit that this occurred in. Elias Samuel is a name that you will be more than familiar with if you are a regular on this channel, because his place of residence has been haunted for so long that he has lost count. He always seems to be uploading new videos to TikTok about hauntings he has come victim to gather as much evidence as possible. And the one that I will be exposing your eyes to shortly is no different. He was relaxing when all of a sudden he felt the need to record due to his body becoming cold, and this is what he managed to capture on his camera. Take a look.
Amigos, ¿qué tal? Estaba descansando un rato, pero oí un ruido y creo que se movió la tabla, porque escuché que se movía y vi y sí se movió. La verdad, no sé, como les comenté en uno de los comentarios en uno de los videos también, y desde que le hice la oración del Salmo 91, perdón, ya miren eso, amigos, eso es lo que les digo en el video, que desde que le hice eso, creo que rompí el conjuro y tengo que apurarme a conseguir lo que necesito. Hasta que se está saliendo de control todo nuevamente. A eso me refiero, amigos.
Somehow, his whole Ouija board setup collapsed to the ground, as if someone or something had shoved it, and this terrified Elias, despite his long history in dealing with the spirit. He was now seriously deciding whether or not to take action upon the spirit and contact an expert to try and banish it, but the fear of angering it lingered even more in his head, and he was still convinced that he could live with it for longer. Subscribe for more updates on Elias.